What's going on YouTube? Kensu here. Rick Strowd, the latest DLC character for Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, is on his way, and big ups to SNK for allowing me early access to the character to give you guys my early impressions of him. First and foremost, I'm really happy to see Rick back. I think it's been a long time coming. This character has only been seen in since what, Real Bout 2 is when he was announced and playable. But seeing him here now with a complete redesign, and it's really cool to see SNK brought him back. In case you guys didn't know, Vanessa in KOF is actually like the spiritual successor to the character, and quite frankly, I guess you could say it's really cool to play the originator of the boxing style that Vanessa is derived from. So he feels like a mixture of his old self and Dudley. He's like a mixture of so many boxer characters that are playable now, but it's a bit closer to Vanessa, I would say. His walk speed is pretty quick, pretty solid for what it's worth. His dash is what I think really sets him apart from the other dash characters. I say it because his dash is kind of short and sweet, and it's kind of similar to his command dash. So they look very similar. So the way, he does offense, he can kind of pepper you with the lights, sneak in some throws and play strike throw. He can also do a backsway into the straight and fish for counter hits. With the rev system, his kit is even more scary in my honest opinion, because Rick's damage I think is really high, which is something very common with the latest characters. A lot of their damage output is fairly high, and his is no exception. He's also very meter efficient with how you do things. I know that his command sway, or his rolling, or his weave if you will, it can be used as part of his combo structure, but it's just a way to kind of cancel early, and it just spends extra meter. A lot of his combos do require timing, but if you don't really have that timing, you can just use the EX rolling and you'll just weave out and just be able to finish up the rest of your combo. But that just costs more meter. Rick to me is like I said, he's very meter efficient, and his combo structure is pretty straightforward. I think what really makes him ridiculously fun to play is, again, how you mess around with your opponent and mental stack them with your command dashes and backsways. It definitely opens up a bigger way to play the game, and it just takes his cancel windows and just makes him a very unique boxer character. Now, there are a couple things I do want to mention about his kit in particular, is that his Hellion, or his DP, it is actually not a legit reversal. It does not have any invincibility outside of air invincibility. In other words, it's not a reversal, it's just an anti-air. The EX version, or the Rev version, and the C version also is the exact same. You can use it in pressure, which makes it really unique. So his DP break with Hellion definitely opens up more doors for its offense. Additionally, the Rev version does allow for the cross projectile to come out, and you can cancel that before the projectile comes out, which opens up way more offensive opportunities with his command dashes and his weaves. So it makes his pressure unique. It makes Hellion have a lot more uses, and essentially it's just it's more of a pressure tool in this game than it was before. So I think that's a very interesting part of his kit. Next, I want to talk about the rev system for him. I think his rev blows pretty standardized. It's not the fastest. It's like 25 frames or so, which is pretty standard for the vast majority of the roster. His air rev blow is really good too. I think it's really good for shimmying people, like a jump shimmy for big damage. His high dodge actually has a lot of range, so I feel like you'll be using the high dodge a lot, mostly because as I mentioned before about Hellion being an anti-air, I'll say that his high dodge attack is a really good anti-air, but I think comboing from it sometimes can be a little bit difficult. And I think that's a big part of his defensive game that can be a little tough, is that I think that his anti-air game is pretty okay, but it's very timing oriented regarding to using the high dodge attack. And if you do it too high to the ground, if you do it too high, it can be difficult to get a follow-up combo. But if you do it at the right timing, at the right height, you get a little bit more out of it, which is nice. I also should mention this too. He does have a new stance where he goes into flicker stance, and I think that's a unique part of his game, and it opens up some more doors for him in terms of offense and combos. It does come with a flicker jab, it comes with a counter, and he has a follow-up, A plus C, which does a knockdown, and then the D button is a stomp, very similar to Steve Fox. He can dash out of those moves, so I think after the stomp you can hit dash and he'll move forward. Additionally, he'll dash either way it goes if you hit forward, and he'll just switch stances, so he'll just switch the leading hand. To my knowledge, it doesn't really change the distance of his flicker jabs or anything of that nature, so it's just something you do for like pressure and just readjusting how you do offense against your opponents. The counter does lead to a decent amount of damage if you know how to combo from it, so that's really neat to see. And you know, that's just part of why I think his defense is a little rough, is because they kind of want you to go in between using Hellion. You do have anti-air super with the light punch super. The uppercut's really good. Like I said, you got Hellion and his high dodge. So you also have crouching C, but it's not special cancelable, just to throw that out there. I feel like the vast majority of his stuff is pretty solid from the anti-air perspective. I think his defense might be a little rough in terms of using hyper defense and just defense. Not that his options are bad or anything like that. It's just, you know, in City of the Wolves, having a dragon punch, so for example like Rock's rising tackle at 5 frames, is really fast to plow through people's things when you're doing like -2 setups, right, where you can do guard cancel into dragon punch in case they press a button, right? Little high level stuff here, you guys, but bear with me. It's really difficult for him to kind of get away with that because Hellion is pretty slow. Hellion is within like the 15 frames range or so. It's definitely double digits, so it just makes defense from a little tricky. You might have to 0 frame a little bit more with him than you may want, but I think that's a-okay for his offensive capabilities. And his buttons, like, his buttons are just great. FAR D is such a good button, which I'll get into those really quickly. I think FAR D is definitely his best button because his special cancelable reaches really far, and on counter hit he can, you know, light command dash in for a combo. FAR C is good, but while it moves him forward, it's pretty negative, and it's really hard to space, I think, in some cases. It makes for a really good wild punish button or a whiff punish button, but I feel like you get all those same benefits while using his FAR D, so I feel like that's kind of like your go-to button, in my honest opinion, outside of his lights. His jumping attacks are pretty okay. Jump D is a pretty good jumping attack. Jump C is actually his cross up, which is very interesting that they gave a boxer actually, you know, giving a boxer a cross up. Normally boxer characters don't really get cross ups, but Rick's jump C does cross up, and his light suite is really good. So it's close light A, close light B, really good normals. Close light B is +3, close light A is +1. So you can do a lot in terms of messing around with plus frames and things of that nature. You can also frame trap with his light command dash into his barrage or his little blitz. It's nice. It's really nice to see that he does have options that really like deter people from pressing buttons. So I think that's pretty much where he stands, right? I think he's a really big counter hit monster. Like, he is one hell of a rushdown character as a boxer. So I think people that are interested in the boxer archetype are going to have a lot of fun playing as Rick. I'll tell you for sure. I know I definitely do have a lot of fun playing him. He's definitely a character that I think, if you love offense and like really laying pressure on your opponents without a fireball, he's definitely going to be your guy. One thing I will say about him meta-wise, I am concerned about the future of the game and its balance. And I'm not sure where he's going to stack up personally, because as we know, you know, some of the top tiers currently right now in season 2, they can be a little problematic, such as Billy. But I do have hope in the sense that as players progress with Rick, they'll learn more strategies to stop whatever's going to be coming for season 3 in terms of top tiers. But regardless of that, that's for the competitive players. But for those that are just looking to just have a good time with a good boxer character, trust me, I think Rick is going to be right up you guys' alley. And for what it's worth, yeah, I really think people are going to have a good time with him. So with that being said, I'm going to let the rest of these matches here play out so you guys can enjoy seeing what Rick can do. And let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about Rick and what are you looking forward to in season 3. I'm gonna go and get up out of here, you guys. Enjoy the rest of these matches. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Round 1. Get ready. Fight. その程度で俺の前に立つな。
Round 2. Get ready. Fight. Braku. 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 That's it.
負けん。甘い。天下喝殺。
言わない。
まだやれるぞ。
Hey brother. Final round. Get ready. Fight. KenZero. Wait. Round 1. Get ready. Fight. Don't underestimate me. Round 2. Get ready. Fight. Wait.
素早い上に一発一発が的確。呼吸の仕方も一